Are we? It's been a long time. Yeah.
Well, Bernie, what did you sort of make of that?
Well, they were very good, I thought. That's got to be one of their best performances. If you have a look at their games coming into this game, it feels like they were a totally different side. The contest at the breakdown, we knew that they were dangerous ball carriers, but tonight they were really dangerous, getting through a lot of tackles, put a lot of pressure on us. When we had the ball with their line speed, obviously the conditions sort of played a part in that as well, and then had the bulk of the possession and territory throughout the game, and they certainly played well, but on the other side I thought our guys defended exceptionally well. Multiple passages there, we were under a lot of pressure, and mistake on mistake, penalty on penalty. We didn't help ourselves, but we managed to find a way when we sort of got inside our 22 to hold them out, which was really pleasing. So one of those games that, we start quite well and things seem like everything's on track to where we want to be, and then we sort of fall into a bit of a slump through the middle, and pleased with the way that we finished the game. We found our confidence at the back end of the game there, but they made it really tough tonight. It's not one specific thing. It comes down to the individual. There was, a couple of offsides, there was a couple of not rolling away, a couple of hands on the ground, a couple of no releases. We certainly spoke about it at half time, we spoke about it before the game, we spoke about it as the game was going on. There were messages coming on the sideline as well. They just put us under pressure because, they had outstanding carries tonight. They were breaking tackles, we were going backwards, and it just put us under a lot of pressure, and it was hard to handle. We got ourselves in trouble with the penalties, but like I said before, I thought we defended exceptionally well on our line.
Do you expect those changes you put on the Luke to have as big effect as they did?
We wanted mobility at the start of the game. We picked a forward pack that was quite mobile. We knew that there'd be a fair bit of action both ways. And then we had some, experienced seasoned campaigners coming off the bench. Luke Ryman particularly, I guess, with his poach. But he was good both sides of the ball. I thought his carry was really good. Obviously scored that try, powered over for that try. Darcy Swain, I thought when he came on, he was also excellent. Front rowers made a bit of a difference as well. That was a battle tonight. The scrum was a real battle, and it was sort of seesawing both ways a little bit. Probably more towards them than us. But the guys that came off the bench, Liam Barron, Harry Vella and Sefo Kaltai, they were just amazing. I thought their work rate around the field, like Liam Barron, outstanding for his first game of Super Rugby. The journey that he's been on to get to this position, originally sort of a back row, moved to the front row in the hooker position. I thought that was an amazing game. He threw 6 line-outs and we won all 6. I thought his scrum was outstanding, and then his work rate around the field was phenomenal. So, everyone that came off the bench was adding some impact to the performance out there for sure.
How important is next week's game now, considering the Hurricanes and the Blues will be facing off? So does that really give you a chance to extend your authority in the top 2 race?
We need more than just one game. Obviously, best case scenario is one of the teams doesn't win with, or loses with no bonus point, and that gets us a little bit closer to them. That's all out of our control at the moment. Whatever happens in that game happens. Whatever happens for those teams for the rest of the season is out of our control. We have to make sure that next week we're looking at our performance first and foremost. So all of that stuff, the ladder, where teams finish at the end of the year, that's the wash-up of performances week in, week out. So we're not going to go any further or think any more than trying to get a really good performance against the Waratahs next week.
How did that look from you?
I think just going off Bernie's point, I was just very pleased with our defensive effort, especially towards the middle of the game, the back end of the first half, beginning of the second half. Had no ball, under a lot of pressure, and I was just very, very pleased with how we just kept turning out there. discipline is probably something that we'd have to look at, but I think towards the second half we showed a little bit more intent around that breakdown and trying to force a turnover and probably just come through the side. So those are things that you could probably live with. We needed to lift that intent from the first half. But I think as a forward pack, our set piece is probably something that we need to look at moving forward as well.
On a personal note, returning to captaincy and come back with a try must be pretty pleasing.
It was a good ball from Rome. I think he got a hospital ball from Bobby there. But I think the captaincy is always made easier when you've got other leaders around you. And a lot of boys like Bridie and Lonergan coming off the bench, Slips, take that load off with clear, calm messaging there. So that's something that we're just going to keep pushing forward with our leaders. Massive. And it's probably no surprise. He's been doing that probably throughout the year, last year as well. He does that at training. So for him, I think he just reminded me of his stats today. He got 3 turnovers and 1 try. So I said to him we probably needed 1 more in the second half. But I thought he was massive.
He's sore, so it's just his lower back, which happens in the front row, I guess. He actually heard it in the warm-up and sort of played through it for most of that first half. Particularly around scrum time, it's quite difficult when you've got that sort of issue in your lower back. He's sore. We'll see. We'll see in the next 24 hours, 48 hours how he pulls up. But he couldn't have gone back on the field as you saw. We had to put Cepho on the loose head side there, and I thought he did a pretty good job there. So we'll see how he pulls up. But he's, like Al was saying, Slips leadership around the paddock, not just with his words but his actions, pretty phenomenal for this team. So we'll be doing everything we can to get him back out on the paddock for next week. We'll just see the next 24 hours and see how he recovers. Good. Thanks, guys.
Bit of pressure, just the two of you asking questions.
Yeah.
Ready?